This week, Citi CEO Jane Fraser sent a memo titled, "The Bar is Raised," to over 200,000 people. Now, she said to them specifically, the old habits are out. She told them that effort is no longer the grading scale. And then the bank started cutting 1,000 jobs this week. Most of you all, and how they will phrase it in the news, is as restructuring, right? I look at it as an admission of failure. I am Dr. Devon Morris. I spent 2 decades in the trenches and 5 years in the lab proving that the effort you reward is actually the very thing putting you on the casualty list. We look at teams, adaptive performance, leadership, emergent states like learning agility, resilience, focusing on goal commitment. If those things interest you, take the oath, subscribe, and click the notifications to join the Atypical tribe. So today, we are autopsying the Citi Memo, and I'm going to show you why the hard work you're so proud of is really a math error for you, and how to architect a system that doesn't need another lap to actually win. Let's look at the body of evidence here. First thing, most leaders believe in a simple myth. They believe effort equals results. Jane Fraser just debunked that in front of the entire world. In my research, I identified the commitment gap. It's the distance between what you say you actually want and what your system actually allows to happen. See, Fraser's memo calls for a commercial mindset, but you can't think your way into a commercial mindset if your architecture is designed for bureaucracy, and you know these big companies are structured that way. So when a leader says the bar is raised, they are admitting that the previous system was too soft and that it was a failure. But here's the math. When you think about results, you look at intent subtracted by friction and multiply all that times architecture. If you raise the bar without removing the friction, you aren't changing your team, you're actually breaking the team. So at Citi, they are actually reducing the layers from 13 down to 8. Why? Because every management layer is a new point of systemic drag. Effort is the tax you pay on the broken design. So people have to put in more effort to actually make it work. So let me give you an idea by getting a little personal with you. You've been hustling for 14 days, 21 days, the past month, the beginning of this year, whatever it's been, right? You're tired, you're stressed, and you think that's the price of success. Well, Jane Fraser just proved it's the price of obsolescence, right? If you are the person who holds it all together, you are the very person that the 2026 architecture is designed to eliminate. See, I found that the heroic effort, which I've done a lot myself, is actually a symptom of a failing system. Every time you save the day, you are masking a structural leak that is costing your company millions in systemic drag. You aren't a hero, you are actually a liability with a high performance mask on. What is actually killing performance at Citi and in your office is the question. It's not laziness, it's ambiguity, right? Ambiguity is just a lack of information. And what it does is this a biochemical attack on your decision engine and your decision making in general. See, when I analyze things, I found that there is environmental entropy that affects learning agility. When Jane Fraser says the bar is raised but doesn't clarify who owns which decision in a flattened 8-layer system, she is triggering a cortisol spike across 200,000 people. And that's really when the brain perceives ambiguity. That prefrontal cortex kind of shuts down. You know, the higher order thinking that you need for a lot of these roles. Fraser is asking for something that's biologically impossible because you move into a threat response actual state. Fraser wants the winning city. If the team has mixed signals, then and competing priorities and unclear decision rights, they are trapped in that system. If your team doesn't know who has the right to pull the trigger or know which trigger to actually pull, they won't pull anything at all. They will just be paralyzed. This isn't a result of bad habits, right? This is systemic paralysis. Now, let's look at the cognitive cost of this failure, right? Because anxiety is just the first symptom. When a leader sends a vague memo about raising the bar while cutting 1,000 jobs, the system enters that threat response state. It leads to really a binary thinking, y'all. Your team stops looking for innovation. They can't at this point. They start looking for survival within that system. It's either be safe or put yourself in a dangerous place. There is no middle ground for things like learning agility. The result is going to be stalled execution. The gears will stop moving because everyone is waiting for a signal that isn't coming. You think you have a performance gap, right? I'm telling you, you have a cognitive math error, realistically. And everybody in the organization is experiencing at the same time, which kind of causes a logjam. This brings up resilience, right? And there's an architecture around resilience as well. When a CEO is flattening management layers to remove friction, okay, I get it. And if she doesn't build structural redundancy into those 8 layers, the bank is mathematically fragile. Well, it's probably fragile already. In engineering, a bad bridge that can't handle the weight of the organization is what we're dealing with here. Most of you right now are leading on bad bridges. You have those star employees who actually are single points of failure. Nothing new about that. You know it. Some of you all are those people. If you think to yourself and ask, if your top performer at Citi, your office, whatever organization you're at, walked out today, does the goals that you created this quarter, this year, die as they walk out, take every single step out? If there's any other answer other than no, you haven't built a resilient team. You actually have a dependency. See, what the CEO is saying is that the bar is raised. I say that the architecture that exists there is leaking, and probably leaking in a way that will be really hard to recover. You can't really hustle your way out of a redundancy failure. You have to architect to fix it, okay? The cure isn't to coach your people, right? To work harder. And I see a lot of coaching individuals to work harder. The cure is adaptive performance. Adaptive performance is the ability of your system to reorganize itself in real time, to adapt to the real system that's occurring. See, CEOs finally are getting it. See, what Fraser's doing is that she's simplifying the organization to increase the ability to actually pivot. Learning agility isn't a soft skill, it's a dynamic engine. And if you don't have it, you can't deal with those novel situations, these new things that keep happening. If you are relying on experience from 2024 or 2020 or go back to 2016 or 2010, go as far back as you want to, then consider yourself already obsolete, because within these ecosystems, things are changing all the time. So you have to be able to adapt to the change. See, we don't just practice culture coaching here. We practice systemic architecture. We don't just fix the person, we fix the environment that is really strangling the person. So when a CEO like Jane Fraser is just firing 1,000 people because the architecture is too heavy, that's what most CEOs on the planet, that's the choice that they're going to make. So you have to think to yourself that you have two choices here. You can keep running laps until the architecture removes you, or you can join us and take the leader's oath right now, right? Next week, I'm going to be performing a full audit, a full autopsy on learning agility, give you guys a lot of ideas about what it is and start bringing this to the forefront for you. I'm going to show you really why the experience that you have, those decades of experience, is a trap in this new economy where things are constantly changing. If you are ready to lead with evidence, then subscribe and join the Atypical Tribe. Don't watch the takeover happen. Find a way to lead as things are changing. And if you want me to help you audit your architecture, just reach out. It's really easy to find me. So I'll see you in the upcoming autopsy. But other than that, I'll see you on this journey that we're all in. I'll see you soon, and we're going to keep coming back with news that is happening in real time so you can actually make adjustments accordingly. I'll see you soon. Thanks.